Alright, watch this video if you want to end all suffering for the choices made by other people in your life. And I'm talking about a close family member, such as a son, a daughter, a parent, a sibling, or maybe a close friend that you love and appreciate. Yet despite of always trying to be there for these people, despite of trying to give these people advice, they always seem to make their own choices, and their own choices eventually lead them to a life of pain and suffering. And that has been my case, or was my case, with a close family member of mine. See, this person has always believed that they knew it all in life. They always believed that nobody could tell them how to live their life. Nobody could give them advice. They, in a way, knew it all. And I was always trying to be there for them. I was always the one telling them, hey, be careful. If you keep doing that, you're going to attract something negative into your life. And they never listened. They never listened to me. They never listened to other close family members. And they continue to craft their path through life, only to find out that recently this person is suffering a lot because of the consequences of their actions. But at this point, I have already detached myself from whatever outcome was going to happen to this person, because when I understood the fact that everybody makes their own choices in life and everyone deals with the consequences of those choices, I realized that their life was not mine. That I was only there as a support system to them whenever they were ready to turn their life around. And they never did. Until now. Because now this person is calling everyone, panicking, asking for help. But for a lot of people, it's too late. These people already got tired of trying to help this person that never listened. But the way I see it now is, you have to understand that everyone has their own life. Everybody makes their own choices in life. And once you detach yourself from whatever outcome their life could lead them to, you start to live life more peacefully. And I know that this could be hard, especially when it's your daughter, when it's your son, when it's your parents, when it's someone close to you that you love and you don't want anything bad happening to them. But when you try to always get in between themselves and the life choices that they make, you're going to not only cause these people to get mad at you, but you're going to cause yourself a lot of frustration, a lot of stress, and you're going to even ruin that relationship with them. Because if people want to do something, they're going to do it. If someone is about to put their hands on a flame, and you're there to see them, and you're like, no, don't do that, that's gonna hurt, and you try to push them back, they're gonna fight back. They're gonna be like, what the hell are you doing? Let me do it. I want to do this. I really want to do this. And even if you grab these people and take them away, if they really want to do that, they're gonna find another flame, and they're gonna put their hands on that. And it is not until they feel the pain that they're gonna realize, hey, this really hurts. And that's what that person was trying to help me with, to keep me from this pain. But understand that that's how life teaches. Life teaches by pain. When you don't want to learn things in a good way, you learn things in a bad way. And that is how these family members will learn to experience their life. That's how they learn their lessons. So the way that I personally see this now is as if this person is like the son that Jesus was talking about in the parable. When he talked about the king. He talked about the fact that there was a king that had two sons, and he pretty much gave these sons his money, the money that they were going to get after the king passed. Well, he decided to give it to them a lot sooner, and one of the sons decided to stay with him, in the castle, helping him out. He had the money to where he could go and enjoy it and go do whatever he wanted, but he still chose to stay with him. Now, the other son, he chose to spend it. He chose to go and live a lavish life. He went out there and partied. And eventually, that money ran out. And when the money ran out, the son started to experience pain, financial pain. People were not wanting to be around him anymore because he was broke. He had no way to party it up like he was doing before. So people started to reject him. And when the son that chose to party started to experience that pain, he remembered that he had a dad that was a king. So he made the choice to go back into the castle, expecting for the dad to say, I don't want you anymore, but he wanted to give it a try and see what happened. But rather than rejecting him, the king, as soon as he saw him walking in the distance, he realized, oh, it's my son, he's back. And he ran to hug him, and he welcomed him back into the castle. And rather than being angry at him, the king decided to make a feast to celebrate his coming home. And Jesus, in a way, I believe he was trying to teach us that, not only about how the universe works, but also how to be with those around us. People will make mistakes. People will not listen to your advice. But rather than getting between their choices in life and causing issues with them, just be there for them. Let them know, hey son, hey daughter, I don't like what you're doing, but if you ever need help, if you ever need advice, don't be afraid to come to me. I will help you. And I know that our egos sometimes don't let us do that. We turn into that I told you so people. I told you not to do that. And look at it now. Like, you're experiencing the consequences. So go ahead and suffer. And I guess you have the choice to do that. But if you want to be free of, or free yourself in a way, be like that king. Be like the universe. You could literally make any choice in life right now. The universe is not going to stop you. The universe allows you to attract whatever it is that you want to attract. A negative action eventually brings a negative consequence. A positive action brings a positive consequence. And you could be doing 1,000 negative actions in a row, and then you do a positive action. The universe is not going to say, no, you're on a roll. Even if you do a positive action, I'm still going to give you a negative consequence. The universe immediately switches for you. That is how the universe works. I've studied a lot of spiritual subjects in my life, and it is basically, in a way, this is vibration. You could be vibrating very negative, but the moment you choose to change, the moment you choose to believe in something better, in something good, you start vibrating different. The universe doesn't stop you from doing that. So rather than trying to force yourself on, or your way of life, or your way of making choices into others, allow yourself to let people be free, and let them experience life. And I know that a fear that a lot of us have is for that person to commit such an act that could take him out of this world. Unfortunately, it's a possibility. But if you're always wondering and worrying about that, you're just going to ruin your own life. You're not going to live your life to the fullest. You're always going to be wondering. You're always going to be stressed out. What is he doing now? What is she doing now? And ultimately, that might not even ever happen. Maybe one day that person will be like the son that decided to go back, because they now finally understand that you were trying to help them in the first place. Now that they experience that pain that they brought upon themselves. So once you understand this, you will live life more peacefully. You will know that everything is happening as it should. And that's what I do with this person now. Now that I know, or that I found out that he is going through a difficult time in his life, if he calls me, and if he texts me, if he wants to see me, I'll be there for them. I cannot completely change their lives financially, or for the better, but I will be there as a support. If they want to do something that could start creating a positive change in their life, then I will be there. So that's the advice I wanted to give you today. Once you understand this concept, your life will literally drastically change for the better. And again, I know that it's painful sometimes when it's a very close family member that you love, but that's how life is. And once you get into more spiritual topics, and into more when you learn more about how spirituality works, you understand that this is all an illusion. And I don't want to get too esoterical here in this video, but this is not really something that you should be too worried about. We all experience this life wearing these costumes we call bodies, and eventually one day this body is going to be left here in this planet, and your true self, who you truly are, the subject that has been made in the image and likeness of God, that energy, that essence of life and light that you carry within this physical body, is gonna go back to where it came from, and you're gonna at that point realize that there's no thing such as death. But I'm not gonna get into this topic right now. I don't want to scare you. This is my belief, but what I'm telling you right now is based on my own experience. So I will never try to force anything upon anyone. And once you understand this, your life completely changes. You're gonna experience, in a way, a whole new reality. So thanks for watching, and I will see you all on the next video. Take care. Bye.